talking about football. Johnny, you gotta go out there and win that state championship because your daddy never got to. You understand? You understand me? You're gonna go out there and you're gonna dominate. You're gonna dominate. What are we doing today? Alright, so today we're talking about football. Why am I talking so low?
God.
Today we're talking about football.
You didn't do that. You didn't go.
You went. Like and subscribe. Alright, we're talking about football today. Today's our football talk. Do we have any announcements to make?
No.
You made us sound like the most pathetic people ever.
Well, I do want to say probably each video. Thank you to Cracker Time for commenting in every one of our videos. I mean, we really do appreciate
Whoever
that.
they are, they're freaking awesome.
Well, we really do appreciate that. We want more people like that, please. I mean, gosh. If you're watching our video, just comment or interact with us.
If you don't comment, I'm going to come find you. You're going to be in a punishment. But anyway.
Let us know what we can do to improve so we can grow our channel and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I mean,
Share us.
We do this to interact with people. We don't want to just sit here.
We should. Maybe we'd get views.
Yeah, watch two guys stare at water bottles and just see how many views that gets. I mean, that's just stupid. Actually, I do. I want to test that. That's so stupid. Okay, anyway. So you want to get into what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Going to die.
Yeah. Our first segment today. We haven't talked about college football a whole lot, so I found a college football story, and okay, it was basically this. He used to be an AD. He used to be athletic director for Oregon. His name's Pat Kilkenny. It's a great name. He sounds Irish. Anyway, he was talking about how the schools are starting to run out of money, especially for things like athletics. They're in debt right now. A lot of schools are.
Which is crazy.
Which is crazy to think. So he was talking about the top 100 college football, I guess because it's probably the biggest sport, college football teams breaking away from NCAA, forming their own group, and kind of doing what the NFL did but way back in the day, where it sold all of its rights to the highest bidder.
Now see, football, I wouldn't say football in general is in a bad state right now. Well, maybe I would. They are having a lot of problems with player unions, but just players in general.
Yeah.
There are political aspects that people are dealing with right now in the NFL. You know, I didn't know that the NCAA was that much in debt.
I didn't either. I didn't know that.
And at the same time, the AAF folded.
Yeah.
So it's starting to seem like it doesn't make sense though. I don't think football is in that much trouble. It doesn't make sense. It's
the NFL's not.
It's our most popular sport.
Mm-hmm.
So the NFL's not, but everything else is in trouble.
Yeah.
How is that possible?
I guess because they're bringing in all the revenue. I don't know.
Well, they are.
You know how much money these college football teams bring in? I have no clue how they're in debt.
Well, they are in some type of trouble with what we're going to get into in a little bit. How much you can pay a certain player.
True.
Because they are struggling with how much they can.
Now, if they end up breaking away from the NCAA, that's obviously going to be way in the future. That's not anything that's close to happening. I don't know exactly how that would work. I don't know if they would start paying players and they wouldn't get scholarships. I don't know how that would work. I'm not sure exactly what
they might have to.
Plus, you have to think: are the bigger schools, the top 20, that in terms of money that they bring in, are they going to want to share that revenue with the lower tier schools?
Here's what because you remember when the Big 12, when Texas got their own deal, and that caused the Big 12 to break apart because Texas got their own broadcasting deal.
Yeah.
And all these other teams were upset because they weren't getting enough money. Mm-hmm. So you had teams like, correct me if I'm wrong, it was Texas A&M that left, right?
A&M left. They
and
went
Nebraska
to the SEC,
left.
And Nebraska left. Yep.
And they went to the Big 10?
Big 10, I'm pretty sure.
Big 10 or Pac, I can't remember.
The A&M went to the SEC and Nebraska went to, I think it was the Big 10.
But that hurt the Big 12 when that happened. I mean, because we're not the Big 12 anymore.
No, we're the Big 10. And the Big 10 is the Big 12. Well, I don't know.
So, I mean, it's...
I'm not sure exactly what they'll do there. I don't.
And if you start taking away scholarships, you start to pay players, you're going to have even more of a problem because you're going to have these players that are going to be like NFL players that are so valuable to a team. They're going to be paid all this money.
They won't even go to the NFL. It's going to hurt the NFL too because if they're getting paid that much money, and they're that valuable to a college. I mean, I guess they would have to leave after 4 years.
I mean, I don't think it's like an enormous amount of money, but I think it's going to be enough to where it's going to like break other players.
True.
Not making enough money. So what are they going to do? Go to other schools?
True. It's gonna be like a free agent market.
It's going to
it's
be
already getting like that. They're not even getting paid yet.
It's going to be free agency. School's going to be. It's going to be like one and done. If that, it may not even be one and done if they're getting paid that much money to stay there.
If they can make their own rules, I don't know. This would be really hard. You'd have to completely plan it out. You could have no aspect.
They would have to become their own organization and break away from the NCAA.
Yeah.
And I don't even know if the NCAA would allow that because
I don't even know if they're able to do that.
Well, you can't make money, can you? In the NCAA, players aren't allowed to make money, are they?
No.
So how would that even be legal? They would have to change the system of the NCAA.
That's what I'm saying.
Or they'd have to break away from it.
Yeah.
So
I don't know.
I don't see that happening.
No, especially not even close
if,
to
if it does, that would just completely change.
Something that made me mad is, well, he didn't say he was for it, but this same guy that was doing this interview said that Bob Bowlesby, he's the Big 12 commissioner, and I think it was the Big 10 commissioner, or like the two of the leaders within the commissioner community.
Just keep talking.
Okay. So I guess that's pretty much it for that. I guess we're going to go into Kyler Murray next. We haven't talked about him in a while, a whole lot.
Sorry about that. I'm just going to leave that in. I had to check the camera battery.
He did a visit with the Giants, and he's got the Redskins coming up next. Anyway, but the Redskins thing getting this big of a deal is mainly about him being with the Giants. People have been asking for a long time when they're going to start trying to find a replacement for Eli because he's 37, 38 years old.
Yep.
Getting towards the end of his career.
And the Giants are rebuilding anyway.
The Giants are rebuilding anyway. Now, if the Giants want to get him, they're going to have to move up. They're the number 6 pick right now. People are wondering if Murray's going to go number 1 to Arizona. Now, Arizona still hasn't traded Josh Rosen yet.
Yeah, I've heard of that. Yep.
So, but I know Cliff Kingsbury likes Kyler Murray a lot. And he's the new coach of Arizona.
I really like the Cardinals. It's just they've seen that one year they almost won the Super Bowl, and I don't know what it was, but after that year they're just.
I know. I don't know. It's. They were in a rebuilding year last year. I mean, they weren't real great, but it made sense that they weren't real great. I know their running back David Johnson, who's pretty good. He didn't quite get 1,000 yards last year, but he only ran the ball like 250 times. He got like 980 yards, so it's a good average. But he was talking about this year. He said, you know what, 1 year I'm going to go for that 1,000 mark, which has never been done, which is 1,000 rushing, 1,000 receiving.
But I mean, this leads into like player salaries, right? How much players can get paid?
Yeah. It kind of leads into they're doing another interview that I saw with who was it with? It was with a guy that deals with economic things for teams. He deals with like salaries and things like that. And he was talking about the salaries at every position, including kicker and punter, are rising. And of course, it's not like baseball. In baseball, however much money you want to spend is what you can spend. There's no salary cap. Well, in football and pretty much every other sport, there's a salary cap. So with the salaries going higher, it's causing these owners to have to make some decisions about things.
Yeah, certain players
who they want to pay. Yeah. Certain players are going to get cut, even if they're really good.
Free agency is going to become a huge deal.
Which is kind of like what the Chiefs did, where they released Justin Houston and Dee Ford, who are two of their two best pass rushers. But they had to cut some people because they gave Tyreek Hill a big contract. They're going to have to pay Patrick Mahomes when his contract comes up again.
And if you don't mind, I'm going to list these things.
Yeah.
We talk about certain players that you can pay to 6 to 8 players $10 million. What you stated, and we look at some of the positions that are paid the highest: quarterback, edge rusher, wide receiver. I didn't realize edge rusher was paid that much.
Yeah.
I understand quarterback, wide receiver.
Cornerback.
Cornerback. Tackles. I didn't know paid that much either.
Especially the left tackles. Left tackles in particular.
Yeah. I understand. So I do understand the tackles. Yeah. I understand the quarterback. I understand the wide receiver because offense is such a big deal in football right now.
Yep.
I feel like defense is becoming less valuable just because of ticket sales. Maybe that's just a speculation for me, but pretty much what I'm getting at is franchise teams that you see that hold on to these players are no longer going to be. Franchise players are going to become non-existent.
They will, unless they're just like Tom Brady.
That's what I'm saying. You're eventually going to have 1 or 2 players. Or just one player that an entire team is built around, and he's going to be paid that much.
Yeah.
And then you're going to have these players that before were part of a franchise that would cause a dynasty. So you're probably going to see dynasties may not last as long.
Yep.
Because a lot of these players you're going to be paid so much money, like Michael Vick, I don't think a player like him gets paid that much anymore.
Especially if
I understand when he went in his prime, he was
things
good.
like injury concerns.
Yes.
Which, he was coming because he ran so much.
But you're not going to see like dynasties last as long anymore.
No.
Because these players are going to become free agents. You're going to have to take advantage of like the compensatory pick system, like you discussed.
Yeah, about where you draft a certain player a certain round, and if you don't keep them for so long, you trade them, you get that pick. It's kind of a complicated system.
And like we talked about baseball, how certain players, once they reach the end of their rookie contract, they can get paid a bunch of money.
Yeah.
I mean, you stated, and this is a good point, you have to be willing to trade these players at the end of the rookie contract.
You have
to. And it's sad, because say like Kyler Murray, he becomes a rebuilding process for the Giants. So they have a decision to make. Okay, we traded up for this player. Well, we have to keep him because we traded up for him. He's our rebuilding man. What happened? We talk about his size. I know people get sick of hearing that, but it is an issue. Talking about his size, what if he gets hurt? So now your franchise player is no longer a franchise player.
Yeah.
So you're dead in the water again. So now you're back to rebuilding. But guess what? You can't do it for the next few years because you just traded up and got rid of one of your top picks.
Yeah.
So now you got to wait 2 or 3 years before you can start rebuilding again. So the money is starting to become a huge problem.
It is.
And we talk about how the NFL really isn't struggling. Well, in this sense, they are.
Yeah. In terms of,
they're not going to go under, but this is getting a little ridiculous.
Like Cody said, you're not going to see 10-year dynasties anymore.
No, if players get hurt, that's it. Dynasty's done.
They'll get cut. Like they keep some players now to let them get better. In a system like this, they'd cut them.
And that's why you're going to have to start seeing player unions. So players are going to start becoming more unionized.
Yeah.
And then you're going to start to see people demand more money. And it's going to become like some type of, I don't even know how to describe it. Like almost, I don't even know how to describe it. Like a broken capitalist, broken socialist, weird type of system.
It'll be like a combination of all kinds of different stuff.
It'll. I don't know. It's actually kind of frustrating.
Yeah.
And the sport has become more. Sports. Here's what we're concerned with, and we talked about this when we first started this channel. And the reason why we started this, and the reason why we do what we do, we try to make fun. We try to bring like light back into sports. I understand we're smaller right now, but sports are becoming too much of a business to me, and the magic of sports is being taken away.
Yeah.
It's almost become like ESPN. ESPN used to be funny, and they used to have things where people would just come on. It was almost like a bunch of blue collar people, men and women, just getting on talking about sports.
Yeah.
And now it's people in suits, which they were always in suits before, but it's almost like people in suits just sit there and go,
talking heads.
Well, Dan, today, screw the football. Today, I got my new pen today. Did you see my new pen in my pocket? I'm sorry, I need my inhaler. That's what I feel like it's like. Instead of people like going, hey, what's up? You want to see this highlight? Oh, cool, throw the highlight in there. Oh, copyright. Oh, better not do that. Sorry, it fell under fair use. And people always put the quotes up, fair use. What does that mean? Describe it to me. That stuff is silly. I'm making a joke there, but what I'm getting at is the magic of the sports are going away, and it's starting to become really frustrating. It really is. I mean, I guess I destroyed James' brain. He said nothing.
I wish the apocalypse would happen so I could survive.
Anyway, guys, that's been it with Cody and James Common Sense Sports. Make sure to like, subscribe,
hit that notification bell,
leave us a comment, walking episode, and we'll see you in the next video.
Have a good day.